Well, hello. I know. I'm like, it's Sunday, and we're recording this for Monday. That's what I need: an iced coffee, a coffee, or something. I've been up since 5. I've been trying to trying to exercise. I've been doing a lot of home projects. I've been out there in the yard all weekend. A girl is tired. A girl is tired.
Well, I've been up
But
since 11 a.m. and I'm tired as well.
she's like, I've been up since 11. I've been up since 5. But anyway, welcome back to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, who is waking up, being bright, and my fabulous co-host Tracy. How are you, ma'am?
Hey, y'all. Yeah, the only reason I woke up at 11 is because Enrique rang my doorbell and was like, "Where's my money, hoe?"
Okay, getting that yard work done. I was out
Yes,
there doing mine.
yes.
Doing
Enrique is
mine.
not my pimp. He's our
Oh,
landscaping guy. Yeah. So when I said he was looking for his money, he was looking for that.
on a Sunday?
Listen, I was like, "Sir, when can you get out here and cut down these Jurassic Park dandelions that are growing in my backyard?"
It is. I actually did the backyard on Friday. Um, I did it on Friday, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. But behind my yard, which is still my yard, so there's the living space of my yard, and then there's the Amazon part of my yard.
Mm.
So the Amazon part of my yard 2 weeks ago was completely bare.
Uh-huh.
No greenery and all that rain, and now it is just full blown. We are in the wetlands. We are in South America. We are in like the Amazon. It's insane.
What's the thing called a cutlass where you need to when you're trying to cut through all the that's what we needed for our backyard was the cutlass to get back there because it was so much. And my yard is the way my yard is set up is if
Mhm.
the grass gets too high and the weeds and all that, the mosquitoes love
Oh
it
yeah,
back there.
that's
So I'm
anybody's yard. That's
I'm trying to
anybody's yard. If you let it get too much, it's the gnats and it's the mosquitoes.
not
Do you
trying to do
do
that.
do you do like a treatment, an outdoor treatment to get
So
once you get it all cut down?
no, I'm a very lackadaisical
Mhm.
property owner when it comes to the grounds.
Mhm.
So I was just talking to Enrique about maybe planting some things for me and pruning my tree. I ain't trying to go back there. And my son offered to cut the grass. I'm like, "Sir, we don't own a lawnmower."
Oh,
So you think you're just gonna go back there with the weed whacker and do the whole backyard? I don't know. That's not how this works.
but your backyard is not that big.
But the weed whacker is not going to do the whole no.
Oh no. Oh, so you don't want to invest in a lawnmower
No, because then where am I storing it?
in your basement?
Who's
No.
carrying it down there?
Oh, you don't have like a ramp or anything,
No, because I don't have
or a
like the
shed or anything.
no,
Okay,
I
got
don't have the outdoor walk down thing that
walkout
people
basement.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
have to
gotta
go
go. Yeah.
into the house, back down the stairs.
Mhm.
It's no. If I had like a shed situation, then it's
Mhm.
like you gotta get the what do you have to get the stuff to put in it? I don't even know how this works. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
I'd rather give my man Enrique his little
I'm
money.
trying to get in contact with his boy for another reason, but n-
Oh, okay.
not happy. Not
Okay.
happy. But
All right.
anyway, Enrique, good for him. I'm glad he got the job because I can do mine. I'll do certain things. Well, no, I actually do a lot. And I actually like it. I do like doing yard work. I haven't done the whole big planting though, which is what I want to do.
But
So,
also my allergies have been
oh yeah, it's nasty.
diabolical this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to go out there and cut the grass myself, or I mean, I guess I could
Well,
ask.
you got those. Yeah, you don't have to do it
They don't
yourself.
know nothing about that.
I say we from the South then.
Yeah, we from the city. We
We
city
from the
side.
South
They
then.
don't know nothing about that. But anyway.
True. Funny. Well, anyway, so it has been a crazy week, but you did have a good weekend. Well, we both had a good weekend,
Yeah.
but we do want to talk. I did want to ask about how Cat Williams was on Friday night.
So what's amazing about the Cat Williams show, Heaven
Mhm.
on Earth tour, I believe is the exact name of it, is
Mhm.
that when Cat Williams brings here's the thing. When you go to a concert, when you go to a comedy show, there's always these opening acts. So
Mhm.
Morel's like, "Oh, we gotta go. We're gonna be late. We're gonna get there late, and he's gonna start." First of all, sir, it starts at 8 o'clock. Do you think Cat Williams is taking the stage at 8 o'clock? No, that's
Mhm.
not how
Mhm.
this works. It's going to be opening acts, chill out, whatever. So we got there. Cat Williams didn't get on stage for an hour. But what's great is that his opening acts could have been their own comedy
Mhm.
show. That's how,
Mhm.
because he picks. I appreciate him as a comic because I consider him to be a fairly intelligent man. Like he can hold a conversation. His comedy's thoughtful, blah blah blah. But he brought Monique as the MC of the whole thing. So
Oh,
you
okay.
also got Monique, the
Mhm.
queen of comedy. You got Monique. You got
Is
Mark.
she the queen
But
of comedy?
well, I mean, I guess she was in the Queens of Comedy, so I mean,
Okay.
she's one of them. So like, I consider her some more. Yeah, because they did lay a foundation. I'm not granted. I don't like a lot of her personal life decisions.
I like a lot of her comedy.
But she was funny. This
Mhm.
she was very good as the MC of the
Mhm.
event. She brought like a really amazing energy, and it was really good actually. And
Mhm.
she actually was either acting or she was moved to tears because she was overwhelmed with the reception that she received,
Oh, good for
which
her.
was like it was like, oh my god, that's so lovely.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
she was there. She was the MC. Mark Curry hanging with Mr. Cooper
Oh,
did a
he's
set.
funny.
Hilarious.
He's
He did
very
a set. Red Grant, who is an icon, like
Red
literally
Grant.
unsung. Yes, he's the light-skinned black comedian, but he's got red hair. Not the
Oh, the
old,
older dude?
not the older one, the younger one, and he's got the gap in his front teeth. Red Grant. If you, I mean, he was on Comic View. He was on um comedy on the Apollo. That's not the name of it, but you know what I'm saying. He's and any black comedy thing, Red Grant has been a part of it,
Oh, okay. I think is this the guy?
and he's so funny. Oh yes, that's
Okay.
Red Grant. He's been in movies.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
he's
seen
whatever.
him before.
He's an icon. Melanie Carmacho,
This man
who
is 47?
you thought he was older.
Yeah, I did. But
So
go ahead.
funny though. So
Yeah.
funny.
Mhm.
So funny. Melanie Camacho, who's also very unsung. She's not really like I wouldn't say she's a household name, maybe
Mhm.
in some, black households. Hilarious. I mean, she's only not more popular because she's black, dark skinned and old. I'm telling you right now. That's the only reason this
Oh.
woman older. Sorry, Melanie, no disrespect. Older. You know what I mean? Because I think she's
Mhm.
well into her 50s, possibly 60s. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, she looked like she might be, but she looks good. She's
but guess who else was there?
really funny. Go ahead. Who?
Tommy Davidson.
Oh, get out.
So
I think I heard that he was on tour with
I
them.
didn't got my money's worth. Okay, I got my money's worth
Mhm.
because I got Cat Williams, Monique, Red Grant, Mark Curry, Tommy Davidson, Melanie Camacho. There was another guy who's a newer comic. I don't even I never even heard of this guy before. His comedy was he was the first one to take the stage. So
Mhm.
he's supposed to be like the most junior of all the comics. Hilarious.
Mhm.
Hilarious. I'm gonna find you his name right now and you guys should follow him. I'm gonna try to get him on the show. He was so fun. So bottom line, every comic was funny. It wasn't like,
That's
oh,
good.
you're waiting for cats to
Mhm.
it didn't even feel like it was taking that long. His name is Zoo Man Miller.
Mhm.
I mean, he did a whole skit about if black people started talking like Game of Thrones in regular everyday life. Like if you got pulled over by the police or it was so well executed. Just amazing. So you
Mhm.
can follow him at Zoo Man Miller 2.
Mhm.
Very funny, very funny. So great show. But can I just say, Amika, what do we call it? The Amika Pavilion, do
Mhm.
better. Your seating is trash.
What are they, old seats or what
It
is
was
it?
folding chairs.
Wait, what? Wait,
Folding chairs.
but wait, like the movie theater? Like you know how you have to pull the seats down when you go to
No,
older
no,
movie
that
theaters?
that would have been nice. I mean, like a folding chair.
Like the one that they beat up those people with on the dock with?
Those might have been nicer.
Get out of town.
Folding chairs, because we had floor seats. We were in the sixth row, so we had like,
Uh-huh.
real. And then we were like sardines because I guess they were like, oh, let's add an extra folding chair on the end of. I'm in here like this, right? The whole show. I'm sitting like this the whole show because I got my husband over here. Then the lady next to me who was also. So I'm sitting up here like all hunched up in my seat. My back's still kind of hurting a little bit. So Amika sent her do better. And the usher was lazy. Oh my God, he was so lazy. I was like, can you help us find our seats? First of all, he was seated. So, sir, you're sitting down. And he was a younger man, younger than me,
Mm-hmm.
sitting down, acting like I was inconveniencing him to get up. And then he said, oh, your seats are in there. I'm like, well, which ones are there? Because these are folding chairs and they don't have numbers on.
You didn't have
There
numbers?
were no numbers, like aisle numbers, row numbers, nothing. So people were in our seats,
Of course.
and I was not. Listen, I paid my money. I'm gonna sit in my seat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "I'm gonna go get someone from the box office because I don't handle ticketing." I was like, "Sir, that." So you
You,
basically tell me I
you
could.
showed him your ticket and where you're
Yes,
supposed to sit.
I
I'm
was
doing
like,
this because I know it's probably on your phone. And he couldn't like go to the other people and say, like, look, you're in
no,
somebody's seat. Like, yeah,
no.
lazy.
Then the people that were there, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna move down," but they were trying to move down to the left, which would have been closer to the stage. I'm like, no, no, no.
Uh-huh.
That's my seats. Those are my seats. And so yeah, they saw Rel and was like, yeah, we about to just get out their seats real quick.
But, I mean, but don't you have to show your seats to get into certain areas? Like I would think
Yeah.
if you're on the yeah, so they had legitimate seats then somewhere.
I, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
That could have been back
that's
there.
irritating.
They
But I'm
could
just
have
saying when you
been.
don't have if there are no numbers on the seats and no row numbers, like I mean, it could have been an honest mistake, or it could have been like,
No,
let me
no,
play this.
no, because there was several people that had to be re oriented because they were in the wrong place.
But
Purpose.
it's probably because there were no direction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
But
that's
I
ridiculous.
guess if you know that, because like going for like I feel like I could have went backstage at this point. That like there was literally like no chill with the the arena staff. Like they just were not. They did not care.
Mm. They probably like this is my part-time gig, and I get to see a show.
I tried to get a little part time job in one of the places because I want to see free shows,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
they didn't even call me back. I'm like I could do what this man is doing, which is nothing.
Nothing. Well, how is Cat? That's what I wanted to know. How?
Cat looked healthy. He
Hmm.
looked good. He sounded good. I highly
Hmm.
recommend like go see this. The ticket is it's worth every single day. It was worth the wait. I waited 1 year to see this show because I
Hmm.
bought the tickets on pre-sale last year
Hmm.
after he went on Shannon Sharp. So you know that's a long time.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you know that I waited. He addressed a couple of different things like he managed to discuss politics in a way that wasn't like weird or polarizing or ignorant or anything like that. It
Yeah,
was just a
it's
great show.
politics sometimes.
Yeah,
So I knew
it was
it
good.
was
He
just
he
yeah.
delivered. He delivered this time.
Good for him. I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's funny anyway. I mean, just having him like in a just him listening on a podcast or in the interview, he's very funny.
So my husband said he thought Melanie Camacho was funnier than Cat Williams.
Okay, I mean,
Follow that good sis. I'm telling you. And he has brought her on so many tours. That's how I
mhm,
first even heard of her. Like
mhm,
maybe 10, 15 years ago, he brought her to Brighton to the Agganis Arena.
mhm.
he brought her there. I've seen her on like black cruises. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, this woman is unsung. She is hilarious.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
You follow comedians way harder than I do.
I do. And I have something controversial, slightly controversial to say about comedy.
What?
I think I might go see Louis C.K. when he comes in town.
Whew. Louis C.K. Now his big cancellation was he was asking for sexual favors from
I think he
women.
was just being like
Because
gross.
I remember the one that I did hear was that he a woman came into his dressing room and he said he was about to masturbate.
Yeah,
And he asked her, "Is it okay if I masturbate?" And she said, "Yes." And they're saying, well, that she was his boss, and that put her in an awkward position, which it does. Why would you even ask anybody that? That was insane. But it just goes, would I still support him? I don't know. I don't think I because I did think he was funny. I don't think he is as funny as Bill Burr, who is my number one funny
mhm.
white boy. But
You're, and as far as redheaded white boys go,
he's my number one. I mean, he's funny. He's honest.
he has a new comedy show out for
On what is it
Netflix.
on Amazon? I haven't seen it
Is it
yet.
Amazon or Netflix? I watched it.
Was it good?
It's all right. It's not his best to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So CK. Hmm,
I that was my dude. When like
really?
yes, in the like I was a big Louis C.K. fan. So when this all the stuff came out about him, and we're gonna get into some other topics related to like this type of behavior in a minute, little more extreme. But to me, a man and yes, if it's your boss, sir, that's sexual harassment.
It
But
is.
it if a guy saying like you come to this hotel, first of all, if a guy says come to my room, even if he's my boss, I low key expect some bad shit to happen. I just
And you know what? Even if, like, let's say, we're a little bit older. 30 years ago, maybe even, yeah, maybe 30 years ago, we didn't have that frame of mind on all things. But we did have that frame of mind. If you go into a hotel room, yeah, you're either with what's going to happen, or if you're not, then you just don't go. So that we kind of taught that as young girls.
yeah.
But there's so much crappiness that has come out about just men in general and the shit that they do. At this point in 2025, you have a clear view of the kind of guy that might harass you or what harassment is. I don't think we really knew what, especially sexual harassment and sexual assault. We didn't really connect that, especially if you were in a relationship with somebody.
And
You know
you should
what I
be
mean?
able to go to your boss's space in the space that you're even just just a regular person. But the thing is that I don't know, and I'm not going to say men are wired this way, but a lot of them are wired that way. They're just weird and gross. Like they just the amount of unsolicited stuff that I've experienced in my life from men, and I'd be like, "Sir, what were you like?" And as a woman, usually I just shut it down. I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's like no."
Mhm, mhm.
And then they're like, "Okay, well, sorry."
Sometimes,
Yeah, right.
sometimes.
Sometimes, they take it to the next level. But
Mhm.
a lot of them just see how far they can go with certain stuff. And you're like, really? Like, you really thought?
Yeah, they need to be taught better. From we just the way young men are raised has to be changed drastically.
Yes.
Drastically, because they grow up feeling entitled to women no matter what this, and that's why we have a bunch of incels now, because there's a generation of women who are saying, oh no, you can't talk to me this way, oops, nope, you can't touch me when I don't want to be touched, oops, nope, you can't do this. And they're really having some real mental breakdowns over being entitled to someone else,
Yeah.
you know? So anyway,
Yeah, but I think Imma go see him. I
okay.
think I'm like, well, it depends. If it's gonna
Mhm,
come out on, like, a Netflix or something, maybe I'll just wait, but I thought he was a funny comic,
mhm.
and
I
yeah.
feel like, okay, because I don't remember everything about him. Like my thing is what the crime was and what were you punished for it. Like my thing, I think was it you and I last week we talked about Chris Brown
We
and how
I don't was that on air or off air? I think we might have, because my thing is I don't forgive him. I never forgive him.
exactly. So and it was the crime that I don't remember what CK's crime totally
I
was.
think
I remember that one
he got inappropriate, which in and of itself, especially if there's a hierarchy of
Mhm,
power, that's sexual harassment. Like, I
mhm,
get it. I don't think he went to jail for it.
mhm,
I don't know if he got sued for it or whatever. I think he just
mhm,
got exposed
mhm,
for it, and he just was what he did was highly inappropriate, dumb, and nasty, and then he
mhm.
apologized.
Yeah. So I can get what you're saying, but then there's that level of like an R. Kelly, never. There's a Chris Brown, never. There's a Diddy, absolutely never. Whew. Wow.
Dude, dude.
Wow.
So I have not I mean, I was thinking it was live stream, so I was like, I haven't been watching it. Shahida's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not even live. No
No,
one's
it's not
watching it. It's
live.
all
Mm-mm.
like recounts and of course recaps. And so we're getting, you know, hit with like the updates from the news and this and that. But I almost feel like they're tamping down some of the stuff because the way it blew up when
Oh,
it happened,
it depends on who you're reading because they have been extremely graphic and a
they've been
lot of
graphic about the acts, but
Mhm.
what about the charges and who's involved? I feel like they're lightly touching on who else was there because they were making it sound like, oh, wait till you hear the names of all the people that were
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I heard
Well, of
nothing
course,
about
they
that.
have to sensationalize it because that's what the media does. It doesn't focus so much on like the actual crime as like how can we get these clicks? How can we get people to read this? And it is, I mean, to say fascinating sounds kind of messed up in itself, but the whole going into this man's mind frame from the witnesses that have been on the stand is absolutely terrifying to hear these things. To know that you had somebody, many people had him like on a pedestal. I mean, he's a brilliant music producer, but to
Yeah.
hear these personal things about him and how he treated people is just absolutely it's stunning to know that people can wear an entirely different face in public and be a monster behind the scenes.
So and that the thing is, I wanted to kind of get into what are the charges because I think that some people are like, oh, they're railroading
Well, go
him,
ahead. No,
blah
no,
blah
no.
blah
I
blah
don't
blah.
think so. Go ahead and just read the
So
charges.
I want to state that, and this is USA Today. I think they're still a
That's where I
credible
got a lot of my
source.
information for.
So what they're saying is, and this is as of May 11th, 2025, the alleged victims range from children and teens to adults. So that right there, the fact you're saying children, and children is anyone 18 or under, so they could be 17, they could be 7. I don't know. You know what I mean? But the fact that the children are the alleged victims, that right there is enough for me to be like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I, and that was enough for me. Um, so people are saying that there are abuse charges, of course, but then there's also racketeering, there's trafficking, which me and then they're saying he ran a sex ring, like transporting people for sexual
Mm-hmm.
activities. And what else are some of the other charges?
Because all the charges are federal charges, and it's
Yeah.
I think people are confusing that. They're thinking, especially because Cassie was the star witness this week, that this is a trial against him assaulting her, and it's not. They're just building up their evidence against him.
So there are 70 total lawsuits that have been filed against him, which some of them are going to be fake, but I'm sure a good number of them are legitimate. Um, and then they also announced that one lawyer announced that he represents 120 individual accusers.
Um, some probably will be fake, but I it would not amaze me if they are all accurate and real.
And this
So the
abuse,
simple fact is,
mhm,
this man was doing freak offs 2 to 3 times a week. They were lasting up to 36, 48 hours at a time.
so I,
So the amount of people that were involved in these freak offs, they were, male
mhm.
prostitute, women prostitutes. There were people who worked on his staff who were just getting him the baby oil to hand off. There were a lot of people involved in this. So the fact that somebody can say, oh, it was like 120 suits against him, I can see that, but then I also can see too where it's fake, because where were you when you were handing off this baby oil, when you looked at Cassie's face all bruised up and you heard her in a room screaming, but you're handing off baby oil. There's a lot. There's a lot
so
of people involved in this.
with that said, I think part of the issue that I'm experiencing with the media that's coming across is that there's a lot of attention on the sexual acts, which I think there may have been some that were consensual. So the stuff with Cassie, she was very clear that some things were consensual and some things were not. Right. So she wasn't saying like all of this were all of these were things I didn't want to do. So
No,
the
she pretty much so said those freak offs, she never wanted to do these things. She did it to please him in the relationship, because that was the only time that they really had any kind of a sexual relationship. But she would bet, and then there were times she was taking some opioid
Mhm.
to kind of like disassociate herself with them, and then he was telling her that she couldn't take these anymore because she would just like lay there and let things happen, and he wanted her to be actively participating. Now he's not actually participating, well, he is participating.
He's like a cuckold. That's like
He
what they
he's
call
definitely,
cuckold. Yeah.
he asked her, did she know what voyeurism was? And then that's what he wanted to do. Now, a lot of people think that he started dating her when she was 19. He didn't start actually dating her until she was 21.
Mm.
And then like she said, that was her first real adult relationship when she got involved with him. So from 19 to 21, he's basically grooming her. I mean, if you ever dated a rich man, I'm pretty sure, he's flying her all over the place. He has money. He's setting her up an apartment. She's living a comfortable life. Plus, he seems really into her, loved her. I mean, I've seen pictures of them back in the day. They seemed like they were like the couple. They
They
were
did.
the couple.
They
They
did.
were the couple. And she was young, and he definitely was grooming her for what was to come. Now, I know people have this thing where she could have left any time. He spent that time grooming her for a reason, so that she can't like just leave anytime,
Right.
and he also was very violent, not just with her, but with other people. We all heard about him blowing up Kid Cudi's car. Kid Cudi's
Right.
car. I mean,
Right.
imagine you think you want to leave somebody, and you know that they blew up somebody that you are friends with's car.
Right.
He beat up one of her girlfriends. I
Yeah.
mean, so the violence was intense, and I think way more than we thought he could have been. I mean, we saw the video of him at the hotel,
Right.
but it was where, I mean, he was beating her regularly.
But so I think the thing, like I said, with the media that I'm seeing is there's no crime against having fetishes. That's not that in and of itself is not a crime. Watching
Mhm.
your girlfriend have sex with other men, not a crime. Having orgies of 300 people, also not a crime.
But
Owning,
also flying see, that's where I think you're missing, is that he was having people fly in from different places, like prostitutes, and I mean, and not all of them were prostitutes either. Some of them were like people that he was in relationship with when he shouldn't have been,
Right.
underage or something. So what they're doing now is they're just kind of building up a case against those things, and it involves his sexual and freaky activity, because that's how you're going to build it, because it's the FBI had been watching him for a very long time. He knew the FBI was watching him for a very
Hmm.
long time because of these things. Now, what tipped it off this time where they finally just went in, we don't know. But that's what they're doing now in the courtroom, is just laying out the breadcrumbs of how are they getting to the very end.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm bringing up the fact that those things I just mentioned are not illegal is that there's a way to do these things where you don't have to get charged and go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? He could have had those parties in Las Vegas every year where prostitution is legal, and it's there's something else that we're not getting, and that's what you said. They're building it up, and they're obviously supposedly there's this
But a
bomb.
lot of what he did in what was testified this week, a lot of that was illegal. I mean, the beating,
Well,
the
that stuff,
threat,
yeah.
all that, the blackmailing. They outlined all that this week.
But
All of that is
that's what I'm
illegal.
trying to get people to separate. So there's the freaky stuff, and then there's the illegal activity. He's in trouble for the illegal activity, not because of the actual acts themselves. It's how he orchestrated it
Mhm.
that makes it bad. So the thing is, like, I just don't want it to be like, oh, prostitution is bad. If you any sex worker, if you have a bachelor party, that's sex work. If you go to a strip club,
You don't
that's
even think
sex
they're
work.
concentrating so much on prostitution right now. It's more or less the blackmail and the fraud, and where Cassie comes in, it was because it was the actual assault and rape of her.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's far, unfortunately, far common than we even want to acknowledge. So, it's happening to people who are not millionaires, and it's happening every day. Anytime a man has i- sexual interaction with you, or not even just a man, a person, and it's unwanted, that's assault. Like, so I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's a lot of emphasis, like, there's a whole big thing about, urination. Like, some people like that, but when you do it against somebody's will, that's when it's bad. So that's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say is, like, it may be disgusting, but that's not the part that makes it illegal. It's his actions. It's how he used power, manipulation, extortion, he used his power in such an evil way. That's the thing that I think they need to rein in on this, and not so much
They
vilify.
have done a good job with doing that. From what I've been reading, like I've been following CNN, and I
Okay.
don't know what other like news people are following. USA Today has been like, really good. I don't think you can help the sensationalism of it,
Mm.
because when you see a person who is at the status that he is in, and it's a powerful man, a very wealthy man, a lot of them do have like these insane kinks. We go back to Jeffrey Epstein,
Bill
and
Cosby.
and all of and all of those things. That makes it more. You can't compare them to a regular old Bob that's doing the same thing. It's different when it's a man or any person of status, and I think that's what we're getting. We you see one picture of a person, a mogul. He's out there. Everybody wanted to be at those all white parties. Diddy had like the best parties. We had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. Now, I will say too, just because you were at a Diddy party doesn't mean that you had any clue that that part was going on. You could have been there just for the party. You didn't know anything about freak offs or anything like that. So I don't think that everybody that was at a party is automatically on
Right.
that list of a witness or a suspect. But
Hmm.
the stuff that she was talking about, and especially being 21 and him being 36 years old, that mind manipulation, and 10 years they were together. It wasn't like they were together like a couple of years or whatever. And he didn't just start out with her that way. You can't convince me that in a million years.
Mhm.
I believe that that's who he has been for a very long time.
Yeah.
And we just don't know it. Like, and there's so many rumors about, like, especially like Kim Porter, and I'm not going to entertain those rumors, but there are a lot of rumors. But I don't think that Cassie is the first woman he ever beat.
Oh, I don't know. There's allegations of
Not,
him doing that at his HBCU when he was in college. So,
hmm
yeah,
hmm
no, this is not
So
at
this
all.
is
It
wrong
it escalated.
behavior on him.
It
Yes.
escalated. Yeah.
hmm And just again, because there's no audio, you can't hear her testimony. You can only read about it. You can't see her testimony. So you're only relying on CNN or wherever else that you get your news. But the stuff that I did read and what she said was done to her was horrific. But the thing that upset me the most about her testimony was the reaction of so many people on the internet.
Mhm. Yeah. The male reaction has been a little bit trash.
The women too, and not as definitely not as deep as the men, but the women too. I don't think you will ever understand truly what domestic violence is unless you are in that situation. So
Yeah.
it's best to hold your tongue and just defer that this is something that you just don't understand. Like I always say, I will never understand gang life mentality. I've
Mhm.
never I grew up in the hood, but I didn't grow up in the hood like that.
Mhm.
So the need to join a gang and sell drugs and all that stuff, I still don't understand that. And people break it down to me all the time. So I kind of don't make harsh judgments all the time about
Yeah.
people who get into that lifestyle. I'm not going to make any harsh judgments on this woman or any woman who said that, she's been raped and or in an abusive relationship that lasts this long. I'm just grateful that I have never had to encounter that, and I don't wish that on anybody. But to see these men come out and just annihilate her
Her
reputation, and
character, yeah.
it's
Mhm.
you can't see anything wrong with what this man has done to her.
And the thing is because what he did was so sinister. Like all of it is it's so overwhelming. It's so just incredible to even think about that someone's just doing these things to a person. And and it's just all very sad because then she went down a rabbit hole of drugs to deal with her relationship because she thought that this was how she could love this man is what it
Hmm.
sounded like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And she didn't know until she came out on the other side. I don't know what her breaking point was or how she got out. I would love to know one day what was her breaking point and how she actually got out of the situation and saw that there's another life she could have for herself because she's married now. She has a whole child with this new man who seems to, I don't know anything about that man from a hole in the wall. All I know is he's come for Diddy every chance he can get, and that
He
he's
was a
actually.
trainer that Diddy actually hired for her. But
Oh.
it seems like from what she said, her breaking point was when she found out she thought that they were in a monogamous relationship, and he had been, and she didn't say who the woman was, but I guess we can probably go back to that timeline and see who he was taking pictures with a lot other than her and figure out who it was. But there was some woman that he had been, like, out and about with, and she was like, are you messing with her? And basically no. And then she finally caught him with her, and that was her breaking point. Now he had been cheating on her many many times during that 10 year, but I guess at that time she was just like, I deserve better. And then she was kind of seeing the other guy as well, the trainer who she ended up marrying.
So I think and I'm not defending anyone's annihilation of her reputation because that's, that's something like you said, if you're not in it, you don't understand. But I guess some people would say, well, at the point where this happened, that's when I would have left. At the point that, but that's you.
You don't know. Yeah, you
That's
don't know.
you. That's you.
Mhm.
That's like saying, whatever, trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes when at the same time you don't have the upbringing that person had, you don't have
Mhm.
the life experiences that person had. So it's very easy to judge and say, well, the minute he asked me to go on, they were getting guys off of Craigslist. So you're just like, and then here's my question. Are you STD testing these people? Are you
All of them, because she had quite a few UTIs.
like,
Um,
and then
S
so some people would say, well, after you got your second, third, fourth, fifth UTI, after you got sores in your mouth or whatever, like, why didn't you leave at that point? And that's what a rational person in their right frame of mind would do. Some rational people in their right frame of mind wouldn't get in the situation in the first place. But like you said, there was a grooming process here. She was a very young girl. His son's mother, Misa, was underage, if I'm not mistaken, when they got together. When he was
Mhm.
working at maybe Uptown or one of those. She was like a receptionist. She was like 17,
Mhm.
and she's been at the court,
Yeah.
quote unquote, there to be supportive of her children, not
The
him.
other woman too that has the last child.
But someone said on socials, and I fully agreed with this. Why would you have your kids in the courtroom to hear this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he
That's
had
a lot.
all three of the young girls, and they're 18. Now think about it. Two different mamas, and they're all three of them are 18. Well,
Now
two are
here's my
twins.
thing. Now let some old man come trolling for his daughters. He be blowing their car up.
Yeah. Let some 36-year-old man come trolling for his 18-year-old daughters.
Yeah.
You know, you would hope, because sometimes these men, it's there's a lot going on with men, and it's not just these incels that are really kind of crashing out in real time. It's a lot of them, and we got to really think about like how we're raising these men. I mean,
Hmm.
it's wild. That's a
Right.
whole, I mean, I feel like that's a whole nother conversation that we need to have, and maybe invite some, political, or not some political, but some activists, some male activists that really work with men. Like, what can we do?
But
We
so to my original point, everything that he wanted to experience could have been done legally. That was really the point I was getting at. It's not the stuff, it's the way he went about it. Like
Well,
he
because he's a monster.
he's a
That's
monster, right?
it's like it's everything, like you said, everything he could have done, but that's not who he is. He's a
Mhm.
monster. He likes carrying
So
guns.
part of
He
his,
likes threatening people. He
yeah,
likes
part of it is
putting people in
high.
danger.
The
Mhm,
high that he got off of hurting people. That's the nasty part of all of this, is
mhm.
that he deliberately wanted to harm, injure, hurt,
And
and
especially, or
reduce
women,
people and women.
and
But
that's
that makes me really sad that her breaking point was, oh, I don't want some other woman to have what I have, which she didn't even like. That breaks my heart for her. And that
mhm.
goes toward how we raise our women too, our girls and our women, because girl, that was your breaking point. Like that's crazy to me. Because what if he never stepped out on you and he was quote
Well, he
monogamous?
had been
But
stepping
what
out.
if he didn't? Would you still be in it? Like that's
Mhm.
crazy to me.
I think she probably, she might have. She might have.
I don't know. Because I used to sit up there and be like, before I knew about all the other stuff that he was doing to her, I'd just be like, girl, you've been with him all this time. And this man doesn't, not that marriage is the ultimate form of respect, but I'm like, he's been with her so long and he never gave her even the title. He wasn't even really saying, this is my girlfriend for years.
Mhm.
He wasn't acknowledging. They would be photographed together, seen together, but he would never say, "This is my girlfriend. This is
Mhm.
my significant other." They would just be together. He never really made it official. He never really treated her like.
And then remember when Kim died, he was like, "That was my soulmate."
And I
And
wonder
she
what
said she
she
called
saw
him.
and what she'd been through.
She called him when he after that funeral and was like, that was so hurtful for me to hear. I've been with you all these years, and then she passes, and you say that was your soulmate. Yeah, she was dealing with a lot.
And then, yeah, and again, it's like there's so much speculation. There's so many, conspiracy theories that start to swirl, and it just makes you wonder what really happened to Kim.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? What really happened to her? But at the end of the day, this
But you know what? The
the
thing
trial
is,
continues. The trial continues. We ain't even at the tip of the iceberg on it yet.
now these are federal charges, so they were coming down the pipeline anyway. As
Yeah.
as, as far as I could see, it looks like they were coming. They were going to come regardless of whether or not she sued him or not.
Hmm.
But we don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Diddy sits in his jail cell and think back to that day when she sent him, because what she did is she wrote, part of her therapy was writing down what he did, and she put it in chapters and sent it to him to read it and said that you can buy the rights to this for $30 million. And she didn't hear back from him or his lawyer, so she called a worker, who someone who worked with him, and said, "Hey, I sent him this book, did he read it?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, he just didn't take it seriously, he thought it was some type of a joke." And then the next day, that's when she went on ahead and filed the suit and then settled for 20 million. So I'm just thinking, he must be sitting there saying, if I had just gave her the 30 fucking $1 million, the $30 million, just gave it to her and avoided all of this. Now, I don't know if this is like, if the federal case would not have come about, but they really went in harder looking into him after her lawsuit dropped.
You know
Could
how
have
I
avoided
feel.
it.
You know how I feel about the reverse blackmail for $30 million. I don't like it. I don't like
Mhm.
it because I get that you wrote it down for the therapy and the healing and I guess some people, they need $30 million to heal. That's their healing process. But then again, if he paid you the 30 million, would this any of this have seen the light of day?
Well, he ended up paying her 20. Remember the
But would
next
any
day?
of this have seen the light of day if he had just paid her off to begin with?
I don't think so. And that's what I'm
Which
saying.
again, and I get it, I guess technically you don't owe anyone else anything, but if you know that there were victims and you were there and you low key helped a little bit too, sis. Don't act like you didn't help with some of the stuff that went on. I think she cut a deal so she wouldn't go to jail because she was involved with some of it.
She did. I think she has immunity in this.
Right. So
Mhm.
again, if she had gotten the hush money to begin with, would he still be out here wreaking havoc? I don't like, as a woman, I feel like,
He definitely would be. He was still. I mean, when he was raided, how many bottles of baby oil did they find?
again, not illegal. Not
No, but I'm just saying, it all goes to that he had not stopped doing what he was doing.
right, right. But then he also had, I think they took tapes and they got evidence of some of the stuff too
Hmm.
from his home. So again,
And blackmailing people with
I
kids.
feel a way about women who go through these traumas and know that this person has not only traumatized you, but
Hmm.
has traumatized others and will traumatize more individuals. And you go in for your personal gain. And then if you
Hmm.
get what you want, then in your book, That's
Get
all
the
I
full
needed
deal.
was I don't like it. I didn't like it with Shannon Sharp and this woman. I don't like it with Cassie. So while I don't agree with the things that he did, the bad things he did to her, and he did some disgusting and terrible things to her and he manipulated her, and I think he brainwashed her too. But on the same token, I don't like the thought that if he paid her off, she wouldn't have said a word and he would have kept on doing it. I don't like that. I don't respect that.
I don't know 100% how I feel about that. I get your point. Um, I get your point, but at a point, I do believe that she's owed something
No,
from
go for
that
the
abuse.
money. Go for the money and blow his shit up. Go for
Oh
the
yeah,
money
I would.
and blow his
I
shit
would.
up. But
But
don't.
you can't get the money without it signing an NDA. But you know what I want to I find,
So then screw the money and blow his shit the fuck up. I just I
because
don't
I think
I don't like
eventually you'll still be able to get the money
she could
sometime.
just write a book. She could write a movie. She
Yeah,
could do it like
you'll
I
be
just
able to profit off of it
I don't
in
like
some way.
that. I don't like that's like you knowing that there's someone in you like let's say this is a scenario. Someone molested you and you know about it and you don't say anything within your family and you know this person keeps molesting people but they say oh don't tell anybody because
Mhm.
xyz be it a financial
And then you
payoff.
see with another kid.
Right, and you're letting this continue to happen, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, please don't. I'm asking, like, I'm appealing to people, please don't do that. Because if you know that someone is out here, especially if there were kids involved with this Diddy thing and she
Mhm.
knew about it, and let's say I don't like the idea of you just not protecting other people if you have an option to do it.
Mhm.
I don't
And
agree.
and she did just get 10 million from the hotel.
For
So
what? Because they saw the video and didn't do anything?
yeah. So basically, and that's, I mean, I feel like that they would say that, well, we made a report. You are the one who chose not to call the police. But to settle it, they just gave her 10 million. And she just got that. What I mean, they
Mm.
just settled that the other day. But I find it interesting that the last girlfriend, Carisha, is that her
His
name?
fake girlfriend, yeah, from the city
Or
girl.
whatever,
Yeah,
she has been
his
like,
beard.
saying very, I don't know. Why would she be a beard though?
Because there's a lot of, allegations that he really is bisexual. And so I think that she was a human shield for like his
So was Cassie, I
credits
mean,
with
if
boys. Yeah, no, I definitely think so because most of the time he wasn't even involved sexually. He was just watching. And then
Mhm,
other people were saying that he may have manipulated men and boys sexually.
mhm.
So I think that these women are like a thing to make him look hyper masculine and hyper heterosexual and
So if that was the case, I wouldn't say anything. I would just be, he's in jail. I wouldn't say anything. Why is she still out here saying, free Diddy and he's innocent?
because she's on the payroll.
Mm,
You
mm.
think that that young girl who could get any sexy man she wants want that?
Yeah, I do, because Cassie was beautiful or is
Diddy
beautiful
was a
and
good
could have got
looking man
anything
at
that
one
she
point.
wanted.
At one time, he was a good looking, successful man too. I think Carisha's on the payroll. There's no way you can convince me that that girl was even remotely interested, like realistically. I think that was all smoke and mirrors. I don't
I
think that was
don't
a real
know.
relationship.
I don't know. Why would she, I mean, does she not have a career? I don't know, because she had more of a career than Cassie
Oh
did.
yeah, she has a huge career. She doesn't need him at all, but I think there are a lot of arrangements out here, especially in Hollywood and celebrity circles.
Mhm,
A lot of stuff is just fake. Yeah, and I
mhm,
was Cat Williams did a whole kind of little bit about like some of his little Illuminati secrets and stuff. He kind
mhm,
of came a little bit for Usher too, with certain stuff. But he said, I got to give you my Illuminati report because Hollywood hates me now, so I might as well just tell y'all
mhm,
what
mhm.
I know. You know what I mean? But he was like
Did he drop any tea?
he just, he was just like casually dropping. I'm trying to remember some of the stuff he was saying. He was like, again,
Mhm.
I don't want to get us in trouble for talking about the stuff he was talking about because these are all allegedlys. But and
You
I
can
don't also
just say allegedly.
I also don't want to spoil the show for anyone who goes to see it, but he was just saying like a lot of the things, and he's been saying that a lot of what you think you're seeing on the surface is not reality. And a
Mhm.
lot of times managers
Well,
are
yeah,
just
we
putting
see that with Diddy.
managers are just putting couples together. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because they will make headlines like Tiana Taylor and Aaron Pierre. I'm
Mm-hmm.
almost sure that they were kind of like put together. They're a sexy, beautiful couple. Not to say they couldn't organically meet each other and get
Mm-hmm.
together, but they photographed well together. They're sexy, and when you see them together, you're like, oh my god, I know they're having like sex on the balcony, like, and they probably aren't
Mm-hmm.
even in a real relationship. So much stuff is fake. Like a lot of the stuff we're exposed to is just not even real, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So,
Yeah, I don't know. That just seems weird to I get that because that's been since Hollywood has existed,
yeah.
people being put in fake relationships. I
Yeah.
remember Joan
Every
Collins,
gay
Judith,
actor,
they always are in some type of, oh, go, I want you to be seen with this person. I get it. But I don't know.
every gay male actor that was a sex symbol back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, they all had a beard. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if they threw Carisha in there to kind of she's a hot it girl, and it's always a younger woman. It's always someone who's too damn young for his old ass.
Well, because older women, what? No, we lose value after we hit 25. They don't want to be photographed with us,
Hmm.
older women. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I just
But
found
that's
that
why
like
I do like
weird.
an Usher, because Usher is always with a woman that's older than him. Always.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know? I don't know if
What
he
they're saying that those are beards.
no, I mean I think he may just have had a thing for older women.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I
No, I
he.
think that was more legit. I think, there's some things, but I think there's some things that people do and publicists do and things like
Hmm.
that to get us to try to flip our minds about certain
Hmm.
situations. So I
Right,
think,
and I just want to be clear. We are just giving opinions. We are
yeah,
not therapists. We
we
are not
don't, and we don't
lawyers.
know.
We
We're
are
not
not
insiders.
doctors. We are not any of those things.
No.
Just giving opinions. And we do, especially if you are in a situation of domestic violence, we are not making light of that at all. We want everybody to be in healthy and happy relationships. And if you need a therapist, please reach out to some. Tracy is actually going to post some domestic violence hotlines,
Hmm.
for you. I just want to make that very clear.
I
I mean,
want
because
to,
it's a very, very serious situation because we're hearing about it more and more often. And that's only because of the internet. I mean, domestic violence and women taking abuse is as long as we've been on this planet. But it's you just hear so many things and they're just more horrific each time.
and I
And
want
they're
to say,
young women.
I want to
Ugh.
say one more thing about this scenario. So a lot of people think or are saying that Cassie was dumb.
That she was what?
Dumb. And
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of people, when
Yeah.
women are or not even just women, anyone who's abused or being taken advantage of, people are like, well, they're dumb, they're stupid. A lot
They
of times
signed up for it.
these are intelligent people in so many areas, in so many ways, and they're not stupid, they're not ignorant, they're not uneducated. They are just in a place where they have rationalized the behavior, or the person that is manipulating them just has a certain control or hold over them.
And remember, abusers go for certain type of women or children.
And grooming is so real.
And
Like
that's
it
a
is
real thing.
so real. And a lot of times when men realize that they can't groom a woman, or an abuser realizes they can't groom a woman, they move on to someone that they can manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than a con artist. A con
Mm-hmm.
artist is going to identify a mark, and when they realize, okay, this person's not going to fall for my con, but this person will, they're going
Mm-hmm.
to manipulate, and they're going to take advantage of the person who falls for their con. The ones who don't, they don't, and they move on. They're looking for a vulnerable person in a vulnerable situation And then what they do is they'll use what they know about that person against them. Oh, your
Mm,
daddy left you when you were two, and your mom was an alcoholic, or whatever your situation. They're going to use your weaknesses to manipulate you into thinking they're the only ones that love you. And that by staying with them, no matter how hard or difficult or abusive the relationship is, they're the only person that loves and cares about you. That's why people get stuck into these cycles. And
mhm,
just going to the doctor's office, you can't even go to the bathroom without seeing like the sign on the back of the door now. And the last one I saw when I went to the doctor's office was, if someone you love is hurting you. I'm like, damn, this is like so like crazy. But that's where they have to hide the signage to get these women away from, or these people. I mean, I go to the ladies' room, the one that's marked ladies, and that's where the sign. So I'm saying these ladies, but they have to hide that in the bathroom at the airport, because that's how deep it is that these, people are
mhm,
being manipulated. And the only place they have even a bit of privacy from their abuser and their attackers is in the freaking ladies room. That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's wild. Ugh, Jesus. Whew, all right. Let's end
It's
up
heavy. It's heavy.
something lighter. Let's close out with something lighter.
Yeah, so the,
Uh,
the trial
I do want to hear
continues.
about the new Providence cruise line that we have
Yes.
going.
First of all, I got so excited because, girl, I don't know why I thought we were going to the Bahamas from
I
Providence,
did
but we
too.
not.
I
But we
did too.
not. We not.
I did too. I did.
The cruise line, I believe, is called American Cruise Lines, and
Mhm.
it is a New England cruise with 7 stops that leaves out of Providence and returns to Providence from
And it's 8 days, right?
India
It's
Point. Yeah. So I was telling Shahida, I got some opinions about this because I don't know how many melanins are going on this. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you what the
not
stops are.
Carnival.
I'm gonna tell you where the stops are, and you tell me if you think that we're gonna be on there. So Bristol, Rhode Island, New Bedford, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Block Island, and Newport, Rhode Island.
N- No, and then also I just don't see. But they said they're booked. That they have a lot of
Oh,
people from out of town
right.
coming.
So
So
who are these
it's not
people?
for local people. I don't. You never know. But no, I don't see it. But
It's not giving Chicago Yacht Week. I'm just That's all I'm saying.
mhm,
It's not
mhm.
giving me the same.
Oh, I have been to Chicago. Yeah.
It's not giving the same vibes and the same energy. We could make it that though. We could make it black brunch on the New England cruise line. I
Mhm,
don't know how much the tickets are. We'll have to go and look. But what they are hoping for is that it will increase our tourism. So things like Cat Williams tour, the Lil Rhodey Laugh Fest, this cruise line, they're trying to bring in that tourism not just to Newport, which is a hot spot for tourists, but also to Providence. So this could be good for us. And a lot of hotel rooms are already booked up,
yeah, which is
actually.
wild. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, considering that I didn't even know anything about this until it was on the news the other day. No, until you actually sent me the news clip.
Mhm. So,
So,
yeah, I mean, that could be good. I mean,
mhm,
revenue dollars for Rhode Island, especially where you've got people acting crazy and acting like they want to pull government funding, any kind of tourism
mhm,
dollars we can get are welcome. Just don't come.
mhm.
I'm just asking people not to come here acting stupid. If you come to Providence, be a respectful tourist. If you go anywhere, be a respectful tourist. Do not come over here acting up and bringing your bad energy to Providence, because we're not here for that.
Most of the time when I run into tourists, they are on good behavior.
Okay.
Now, when I run into tourists in Boston, I do have to say that they are on good behavior, but you're on vacation, ma'am. I am not on vacation. I'm trying to get to and fro from work.
So move the hell
Trying
out
to
my way.
grab lunch. I'm trying to grab dinner. If you see me walking really fast, don't stop and ask for directions. There's somebody who's standing still that you could probably ask. And that's when people say, Bostonians are so rude. No, you just catch us at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So if you come to Providence,
Ugh.
just remember that. If you see somebody walking fast, they're probably going somewhere. Don't stop. Don't
Mhm.
stop them.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah.
I'm excited about the cruise. That sounds. I don't. It doesn't sound like something interesting to me, but it should
I
be
so
interesting to
I don't
others.
know if I wanna be on it for a whole week.
For a whole 8 days, that seems
I It would be
so.
cute for, like,
Yeah,
2
no.
days,
Like, yeah.
but it's a lot of stops too. It's a lot of stops as well. So I guess, but I Martha's Vineyard sounds
Mhm.
cute. Newport sounds cute, like, it
Yeah,
be cute.
definitely. I mean, I would take Martha's Vineyard over Newport, but
Like, what are the
only because I know there's
excursions? Like, tell me
good things.
more. So what else is coming up? Boston Wild Black Summit. For those who don't know, Boston Wild Black is an organization that it's a mix of what do you call it? Transplants who've moved to the Boston and New England area. So I'm in Providence and I'm still a member of Boston While Black because I born and raised in Boston and I'm part of that circle. So it's a membership that gives you, like, resources, discounts, all kinds of, just like, the feeling of community here in Boston, especially for people who are trying to find their Black community. So, and there are
Mm-hmm.
members of Boston While Black that are other races too. So you don't have to be Black to be part of it. But they're having their annual summit. That's going to be from May 29th to the 30th. And that sounds very exciting. And I will be there. They're going to
9th to the 30th. It's gonna be like a week long thing.
No, 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 just 2
Um,
days, 2 days, but packed with, there are gonna be workshops, there are going to be tabling, there are gonna be career opportunities, panel discussions. I mean, I've loved it. I went to the one that they had the last time, and Sheena Collier just puts on an
I've seen
amazing
she's the
program.
one doing it. Okay,
Yeah,
she is
the
in.
Collier connection, like,
Mhm.
she actually just did a TED Talk, here. I think she did it up in Canada, so that's gonna be coming up. I can't wait
Mhm.
to experience that with her. So I'll post information about how to get tickets for Boston Wild Black if there are any left. It'll be held in Boston. The other thing that's happening is Welcome to the Jungle. That's gonna be here in Providence, Rhode Island. And Shahida and I will be there. We have tickets for that event. So I'll post information about that. It's more like just networking, and, it's in this really cool space that's like all plants. Because you went to that space before, right, Shahida?
Which one?
Where they're having Welcome to the Jungle.
I don't think
It's
so.
Jordan's Jungle.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Jordan's Jungle is in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and it's like
I
plants.
think I know where it is, but I
Yeah.
don't think I've been for an event. No.
So we'll be there. Tickets are on Eventbrite, so we'll definitely post about that. If you're also in Boston on May 28th, Hella Black Trivia Night is happening at the Mix in Dorchester. The Mix
Hmm.
went viral.
Hmm.
It went very viral a couple of weeks ago because there was
Okay.
a big fight where the the night before their anniversary at the Mix, which is a Black owned lounge and bar, the night before there was a brawl which resulted in their windows and doors being broken out by an angry mob of patrons.
Wow.
And security did their best. They made, to wrangle the crowd, but it literally went viral. It actually would They were
Hmm.
talking about it on the Breakfast Club. That's how viral
Oh,
it went.
really?
Yes, but the owners and the proprietors, I gotta hand it to them. The following day, which was their anniversary, and they had like a special brunch planned. They managed to get them boards up on the windows and doors, and they
Mhm.
still had their anniversary, and they're back and stronger than ever. They're doing Hella Black Trivia on the 28th at 6:30 p.m. So, it's sad that when we have these establishments,
Mhm.
people feel that they can treat them any kind of way, because I'm like,
Like,
you
right.
don't go down to the Palms and do this.
Hmm.
You don't go down to, you know, non-black owned establishments and do this. Like, why do you do this in your own community? That's
Hmm.
a question that remains unanswered. And it's not everybody. I know it's, a
Yeah,
small handful of people, but we
but do better.
do better.
Do better. That small handful, just do better
But
because
the
it
mix
affects.
the mix
It,
is resilient. They're back. They're over there by Ashmont Station, right on Dorchester Ave. If you can make it out to Hella Black Trivia, grab your ticket. That's also on Eventbrite.
sounds fun though. I
Yeah,
love.
I'll be there. I'll be there too.
That sounds fun.
I'm Tracy is outside. Y'all
Hmm.
know me. You know I'm gonna be outside.
So, with that, we will close up. We are at that time. Have a great week, and we will see you next Monday. But we do have a special announcement. We are doing a special series on perimenopause and menopause, and we have several different women who will be joining us. It will be informative and it will be funny. It will be insightful. It would be, motivating. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it's a conversation that is just not one podcast. We will be doing it in 4 podcasts. So we will be hitting that this week, but we won't release it until probably June. So be looking out for that.
Yes, and our guest list is lit. These are some women that we hand selected for this very experience, and it's gonna be a good one. I think it's something that our predecessors, when I say our predecessors, our moms, our aunts, our grandmothers, our godmothers, were not as vocal about as
Mhm,
we are in
mhm.
2025. So
Yeah,
it's a fucked up time to be alive, but it's a good time to be alive because information
it
is
is.
so much more transparent. So
Yeah.
we're gonna
And if
get
you
real juicy.
have any suggestions, any comments, I mean, drop us a line, let us know. So, and also, I forgot, as we're doing a pet peeve
Yes.
section as well. And so we actually want you to leave us a message that we will actually play on the podcast once we get that together. And hopefully you'll get more of that, because we all have like these like little pet peeves. Some of them are big, some of them are small, but they're all usually pretty hilarious.
Send us your voice notes
Hmm.
with your
Hmm.
pet peeves. So
So, and we will upload and play them on the podcast.
And you know where to find us. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We all over the place. Wherever podcasts are heard on social media, as well as you can watch us, the full podcast, or you could listen in your ears if you like to do that when you're on your commute or your vacation or what have you. But still not.
On TikTok.
Are we
Not doing
ever
it.
going? Are we going to ever go back there?
Um, I don't think I don't know. I don't know. Never say never. But right
Not
now,
yet.
the way that they are moving with this administration just disgusts me. And we got a lot of people moving with this administration that we don't like, and it's just like, I'm just going to stick with the devils we already have and not incorporate any new ones.
Facts. Facts. I like it. So
You
yeah,
know?
listen to us. Please comment. Please like. Please share. I also released a list of top 10 black led podcasts that you should be listening to and sharing with your friends and family. That I dropped on our social media on Facebook because show the love to your black podcasters.
Mhm.
We're speaking from your lens. We're giving insight if you're an ally, and we're just funny. We funny and informative. So
Yeah.
why not us among others? So top 10 list, it's out there.
All right. So until the next time, have a great week, and we will see you next Monday.
We'll see you.